My topic is Garbha Samvad. It means prenatal conversation, the conversation which the pregnant lady has with the child which she carries in her womb. On surface, it looks very simple, but the work that goes in the process is profound. I must say that, which I realized. When ma'am gave me this topic, I said it is just 1.5 pages in the book. What I'm going to talk. When when the yoga part was given to me, it is music and mantra. I thought that what I'm going to say, the music or the mantra. But whatever the work I have done, I will try to explain what I understood. I would try to share that with you. Womb to world. The child comes from the womb to the world. Womb is the place of creation. And during the pregnancy, the human brain neuro pathways inside the womb increases at a very high rate. When this happens, the rishis have said that the 90% of personality of the child is done from the time of conception till the age of 5 years. The 90% of the foundation of developing a personality is done during this time. And the 9 months is the purely mother's time, where the child has no exposure to the environment. Like if the child is born, he's exposed to the environment, he's exposed to the family, he's exposed to the other element. But when the child is in you, you have your tremendous control, what you can inculcate in the child. You can inculcate the kind of personality you want to give birth to, whether it's the qualities of Maharana Pratap or Swami Vivekanand or Mahatma Gandhi. That is why people read the quotes during the pregnancy. People use certain pictures and read certain scriptures. When I talk about the mind, sorry, I deviated a little bit. When I talk about the mind, you can see it is divided into major two parts, the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. Conscious mind is the only 10%, whereas a 90% brain is of your subconscious mind. Subconscious mind is nothing but the blueprint of the, which is recorded in your subconscious mind. And you will not see what is recorded in the mind because it is in a dormant state. It is in the dormant state when the child is born till the next 5-10 years. But this blueprint will reflect and manifest when the child is, being at his adult age. So I will share a small story here, how the subconscious mind plays a major important role and why as a mother, as a pregnant lady, we must take care of what you are trying to inculcate, imbibe in the child's personality. It's a short story. When a baby elephant is young, he's tied with a rope with his front leg. He tries to break that, but he's never able to break that because his less strength is there. But when the same elephant is in its full vigor, when he's in pure adult, strong elephant, at the same time he's tied with the same rope. Then a traveler asked to the trainer, why is this elephant which is capable of breaking the tree, crushing the car and everything, why he's not able to break the chain? You still have to tie it with the rope. The trainer said, it is because when he was young, he was tied with the rope, so that conditioning happened that he cannot break it. So that conditioning, due to that conditioning, this gets a blueprint into his mind that I will not. So even when he is grown up completely, he is not able to break that rope. So this is just an example to show that your blueprint that you feed into the child's subconscious mind manifests and has a very great effect into the mind. So it is important that the small work that you do right now will have a tremendous effect. It is up to us what kind of thing we are trying to inculcate. If you are into fearful, if you take a lot of stress, it will be manifested into the child's personality. If you are happy, joyful, caring, and living consciously with the intent of spreading joy, you will see that in the same thing in your baby, which I'll come to later. That is validated by the story of Abhimanyu and Prahlad and Kashyap. Now, baby under construction, like in the womb, the baby is under construction. From the moment of conception, the experience in the womb and the brain, and lays the groundwork for personality, emotional temperament, and spiritual understanding. So all I want to say is this: it is in the womb that the emotional quotient, intelligent quotient, and spiritual quotient is developed 90%. It is up to us how you can take it further, how you can ingrain these qualities in the child so that it gets manifested in the positive way. This time, the child is receptive to the mother in a great way. So it is important that mother's every action, thought, and feeling is positive. Now, developing positive health in the womb. So the first things that the child learns is through his sensory organs, like sense of touch, sense of hearing, taste, smell, and vision. So the first sense is of the touch, which the mother can practice by gently rubbing around her belly and give her a gentle touch so that the child is able to feel that. The sense of hearing is very important. For that, the lady can listen to the good music, chant mantra, or read scriptures, or listen to some good audio things. For sense of taste, this is developed during 8th week of gestation, and this is developed during the same time as a sense of hearing. For the sense of smell, the mother can go for aromatherapy, etc. And sense of vision, which the child normally develops later in the stage of its 3rd trimester. Visualization again helps to eliminate negative transmissions from past life. It is like, when you are at your own, when you are at your own pace, you can just visualize good things. You can visualize how your child will be a very good human being, how your child will be caring, how your child will be kind, and have a very sympathetic relationship with everyone. Music and mantra. When I talk about this picture is just a glimpse of, to show that how when the music is able to, your brain reacts to the music. It activates all your channels, all your nerve systems. When I talk about music and mantra, music is harmonious rhythmic vibration. It is therapeutic. The music which you can include is listening, singing, playing an instrument. And you can see that lullabies were used since time immemorial for the baby. So music has been an integral part for healing purposes. Whether it is lullaby, whether it is bhajan, whether it is chanting, it has been used in number of ways by many ages. There is an Australian Aboriginal called Australian Aboriginals who have not developed, who were completely who have not been in contact with the modern world. Still, that native people are able to make a musical instrument called didgeridoo, which is used for meditative and healing purpose. So I would just want to say that whether or not people have developed anything modern or in traditional times, but they remain connected to the music in one form. Like the tribals, even if they do not know anything, at least they must have developed one musical thing for their own healing and therapeutic purpose. This is just to tell you that music has a very therapeutic purpose. The next is mantra. Mantra is a tool for the mind or thought. Now, when I say about music, there is a difference between the mantra and the music. Music is rhythmic, harmonious vibration, whereas mantra is the powerful rhythmic vibration. It helps you to raise your vibration. That is why rishis and the maharshis used mantra to raise their consciousness, to raise their vibration, to realize the higher consciousness. When you do group chanting, it not only helps you to relax, but it also improves the vibrations of the self and also of the environment. When you chant your mantra, I tell you, it changes your auric body. And you can prove this with the Kirlian photography. It shows how your aura changes before the chanting of mantra and after chanting of mantra. Next is chanting mantra stimulates some key glands of endocrine system, which is responsible for governing and regulating hormones in the body. With this, I just want to say that music and mantra are nothing but sound. What liquid and solid are a very good medium of sound. Your body is 70% of water. When you connect yourself with sound, sound effectively travels in your body. When you talk to Bruce, when I talk about Bruce Lipton, he says that your every cell talks to you. Your every cell is listening to you. You have trillions of cells. You know, when you talk one positive thing, I am good, I am confident, this energy gets multiplied into trillions of cells. So can you imagine how your auric body changes and how your positive affirmation changes your mindset? And when you say, I am not confident, I am poor, I am ugly, so this similar pattern gets multiplied into trillions of cells, which again affects your body at some negative level. So music and mantra is primarily sound, and sound is being absorbed by your body, by your baby who is now currently in your home. So you should choose your sound widely. You know, you should, there are people who either you live to eat or you eat to live. Similarly, you should choose your sound. There would be many kind of sounds which is chaotic and that has negative effect. This can again be proved by the water theory, which says that water has memory. When I talk about water has memory, when you play a good music and you try to freeze the water, it will show some very beautiful crystal. But if you play some chaotic music and if you try to freeze that water, the water crystal formed will be very ugly. So this shows that sound has tremendous effect on your body. Your body is 70% water. When you receive good sound, your body gets into major shift. So you must take care of the sound you receive and you give to your body. So your samvad with your child should be very careful. It should be introspective and it should be always positive. The sum of the music which can be used during pregnancy is like spiritual bhajan, Hanuman Chalisa, or the classical music. The mantra would be sound of Om, which is the primordial sound, Gayatri mantra, Mahamrityunjay mantra, Garbharakshak mantra, etc. So these are the mantras which has been given. And as I said, I will not lay much stress on which kind of mantra we should choose, but I would lay more stress on what kind of sound or the vibrations that you come into contact with. My presentation was short and crisp. I tried to do my best, ma'am. I hope you will guide me. What can I add further into this? Thank you. Thank you to all for being patient.